And of course, we can't start it without the face cam. Yay. Anyways, my best friend stole
Seconds before I was about to step onto the rink with my skating partner and boyfriend Victor, he turned to me nervously. Are you sure about this? Of course. My name is Quinn for a reason, darling. The crowd went wild as we danced flawlessly. Towards the end of the routine, I skated towards Victor, and he threw me in the air. The stadium went silent as I gracefully spun a few times before landing in his arms. The audience erupted as Victor pulled me in for a kiss. As expected, we ate the competition and left no crumbs. Hi, my name is Quinn, and I was the most popular girl in school and the best figure skater in town. My life was perfect, but then everything changed in the worst way ever. But first, please like and subscribe. Later that night, my best friend Elena arranged a pool party for us at her mansion and invited everyone. It was perfect, but then everything changed in the worst way ever. But first, please like and subscribe. Later that night, my best friend Elena arranged a pool party for us at her mansion and invited everyone. You know I hate huge parties, right? Oh, come on, girl. One more competition and you guys are gonna get into the Olympics. We need to celebrate this. Actually, we need to study for our finals next week. Let's forget about everything and have some real fun tonight, babe. Victor jumped into the pool and Elena followed. And, well, I couldn't resist for too long either. But as I was walking towards the pool, I suddenly slipped on something. I felt my head hit the ground and everything went black. When I opened resist for too long either. Finals next week. Let's forget about everything and have some real fun tonight, babe. Victor jumped into the pool and Elena followed. And, well, I couldn't resist for too long either. But as I was walking towards the pool, I suddenly slipped on something. I felt my head hit the ground.
I just did random.
Everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, I realized that I was in the hospital. Just then, a nurse came in, and she looked shocked to see me awake. She called for the doctor, who came running in and started to examine me. When I asked him what was going on, he dropped a bombshell on me. You had a serious head injury and fell into a coma for 3 years and 2 months.
What?
It's a miracle you're awake, and all your functions seem perfectly normal.
3 years
but
and
I
2
wouldn't
months.
recommend
Crazy.
skating for a while. And as he went on, I sat there dazed, letting his words sink in. I'd been in a coma for 3 years? But what about my career? Everyone had left high school? Who was the U.S. president now? I was having a panic attack. My parents were out of town, but the doctor quickly got them on the phone, and they started shrieking in excitement. Oh my God, you're awake. We're coming home right away, honey. And please, don't meet anyone until we've talked, okay? Love you. But as soon as I got out of the hospital, I asked my driver to take me to Victor's house, and he looked like he'd seen a ghost. Quinn, is that really you? Surprise! Did you miss me? Of course I missed you. I just can't believe you're here. I threw my arms around his neck and lifted my head for a kiss, but just then a girl suddenly appeared behind him. Elena? Bestie? Oh my God, is this for real? I can't believe I've been sleeping for 3 freaking years. I need to know everything. Well, Victor and I had our 3rd sectional win yesterday, and we'll be competing in the nationals soon. I literally buffered for a few seconds. What the what? She replaced you as my partner a year after your accident. Oh, wow, that's great. Elena's pretty good at skating too. I know, right? We make a good team. And, one more thing. We're engaged. Nice joke, bestie. But I felt like an elephant had slapped me when they both went silent. Oh, you're serious? You're not mad at us, right? I mean, it has been 3 years. We didn't know if you'd ever wake up. Of course, I understand. I'm happy for you. And then I turned and quickly left in my car, feeling like a zombie. But when I got home, I had a complete meltdown. Soon, I learned that aside from skating together and being engaged, Elena and Victor were studying at my dream university too. And it felt more painful than 10 toothaches. I visited the rink where I'd always practiced, but no one seemed to recognize me anymore. Everyone had moved on, while I'd lost 3 years, my career, my best friend, and my boyfriend. When my parents finally arrived, they did everything to cheer me up, but I just felt depressed. I had to start all over over again, and I didn't know how. Mom convinced me that the first step was to go back to high school and finished it. But everyone my age had graduated, and being the oldest in class was weird, and it just made me miss Victor more. One day I was at the grocery store when I saw Victor and Elena being interviewed on television. It really hurt to see how happy they looked together. I felt like another meltdown was coming, but just then the cashier caught my attention. He was dancing as he worked. So extra. But when he turned around, I saw that he was really cute. To my surprise, he gave me a knowing smile and winked. I just ignored him and walked away. A few days later, I was studying at a cafe near my school that always played classical music, my favorite. But just then, a guy started playing a loud song on his little speaker, and it sounded so annoying. Suddenly, our eyes met, and I realized that it was the extra cute cashier. He walked up to my table and then started poking my cheek. "Excuse me, what are you doing?" "Sorry, I've been wanting to check if you're real since I saw you at the grocery store. You're just too beautiful for this world. And you're just too cheesy for the whole universe. But at least I made you smile. I'm Derek, by the way. And you?" "Quinn." "Nice name, Quinn. Do you need a king?" "Nope. I just need you to shut your noisy music off." "Hip-hop music is not noise. It's amazing." "Sure. Whatever makes you happy." "It's you, babe." I wanted to roll my eyes, but I ended up smiling instead. After that, Derek always turned up when I was in the cafe, and I enjoyed his company. I learned that he was a working college student who dreamed of becoming a famous hip-hop dancer someday. He was flirty and funny, and a great listener. If your ex really loved you, he would have waited for you. Just forget him. I'm sure I'm more handsome. Maybe, but he definitely dresses better than you. Derek always wore hoodies and jerseys thrice his size. He was the opposite of Victor, who always looked like a prince. Snap out of it, Quinn. He's engaged. One day when I was with Derek, a familiar couple entered the cafe, Victor and Elena. I had to show them that I was doing just fine. As I saw them getting closer, I let out an exaggerated laugh. "Oh, my boo-boo bear. You're so funny. I want to die." What's so funny about my neighbor's cat dying? But I continued laughing as if an octopus was tickling me. "Oh, hey, girl. Oh, my God. Hi. What brings you two here?" "This guy just can't get enough of me, so he brought me here on a lunch date. I heard you went back to school." "Yeah, life goes on, you know." "Oh, this is my boyfriend, Derek. He's a hip-hop dancer." Victor suddenly butt in. "I thought you hated hip-hop." "Not when my boo-boo bear dances to it. He's just the coolest." "You really think so?" Victor looked rather mad. He was jealous, and I was loving it. They sat at a table across from ours, and I jumped onto Derek's lap and started feeding him French fries. Victor kept looking my way, and Elena looked furious. Soon enough, the lovebirds were having an argument, and they both left. "So, I'm your boyfriend now, huh?" "I'm sorry, that came out of nowhere, but I just had to do it. I didn't want to look like a loser in front of them." "I get it. We can continue pretending, to show them. Just be careful, though. You might fall in love with me for real." "Oh, trust me, I won't. You're not my type." And just like that, I got myself a brand new boyfriend. And the chance to take him with me came soon enough when I heard about the next skating competition Elena and Victor were participating in. I had to see how good she was, and I was stunned. Elena skated like a pro, and their chemistry was on fire. To make things worse, Victor kissed her after their performance. Suddenly, I just found myself crying. Derek turned to me, and my heart kind of fluttered as he wiped my tears. "Remember, you're a queen." "You're right. I have to get back on the rink. And this time, I don't need a partner." I wasn't allowed to skate yet, but I started training anyway, and I was too stubborn to listen to my parents or Derek, who tried to stop me. "Even if you're my fake boyfriend, you have to support me." "Okay, fine, but on one condition. I have to be with you whenever you practice. I'll protect you." "That's my coach's job. Do you even know how to skate?" "Oh, baby, I'm the breakdancing king. Skating would be a piece of cake. But when he finally got on his skating shoes, I almost died laughing. He looked like a scared baby and kept falling on his butt. Relax. Just trust me and don't let go. I won't. The next minute, he slipped again, but I was quick to grab him. As I pulled him back up, our lips almost touched, which sent my heartbeat racing. But before things could get weirder, my coach arrived, and I felt a bit disappointed. My birthday was in 3 days, and my parents decided to throw a huge party to celebrate. They invited all their rich friends, including Victor and his parents. It was my chance to show off my new boyfriend to everyone, but I knew what these people were like, and I had to make some changes to Derek. I'll send some stylists over before the party, and one of my cars will pick you up, okay? Oh, okay, sure. See you later then. On the evening of the party, everyone had already arrived when a Lamborghini pulled into the driveway, and my jaw dropped when Derek stepped out. He was wearing a white suit and his hair was brushed up. He looked gorgeous, and clearly I wasn't the only one who thought so. I introduced him to my parents, and they looked impressed. Everything was going smoothly till they started asking about what his parents did for a living. Thankfully, someone walked in just then to distract them, and I saw that it was Victor. Elena wasn't with him, and I wondered why. Oh, it's been a while, sweetheart. You look even more handsome than before. So perfect for my daughter. Is it too late for you guys to get back together? Mom and her rich friends kept on gushing over Victor, which annoyed me so much. How could they do that in front of my boyfriend? They didn't know he was fake, but suddenly, Derek walked up to the grand piano and asked for everyone's attention. I would like to dedicate this song to my amazing girlfriend, Quinn, the queen of my life. He started playing one of my favorite love songs, and my heart just melted. Everyone was mesmerized by his lovely performance, but just as he finished, his phone started ringing, and his ringtone was a hip-hop song with some embarrassing lyrics. It made everyone's eyebrows shoot up with judgment. As Derek panicked to turn it off, he suddenly crashed into the waiter behind him and ended up with food all over him. As I ran to help him, I heard Victor laugh. A few piano tricks and some borrowed clothes can't buy something like class. It's so obvious that he's not one of us, Quinn. Derek glared at him angrily, and I was afraid the two might break into a fight. So I dragged him out of the party and apologized for everyone's behavior. But you think the same, don't you? That's why you groomed me, to make me presentable. Derek, that was a mistake, and I'm sorry. Let's get out of here. But what about your party? I hate huge parties. Take me somewhere else, please. He took me to a club, and everyone was just looking at him as he danced. I totally understood why. Come on, dance with me. I am not into hip-hop, but he pulled me onto the dance floor, and we just went wild. As the song ended, everyone clapped for us, and he drew me close. I'm sorry for ruining your birthday. You actually made it better, and before I knew it, I found myself kissing him, and it felt surreal. I couldn't stop thinking about Derek or that kiss all night, but I really had to focus on my skating because I'd entered my name into the next big competition. I had to work hard to get my momentum back and to learn how to dance without a partner. One day while I was practicing alone on the rink, Victor suddenly turned up. What are you doing here? And why were you such a jerk to my boyfriend? Quinn, can we forget about everyone else for a moment? Will you dance with me for old time's sake? I did miss skating with him, so I gave in. We started dancing together, and it felt so natural. We just knew each other's minds and bodies on the rink, and we fit together perfectly. The other skaters started gathering around to watch us in amazement. As the music ended, we were both out of breath, and suddenly he leaned in and kissed me. But just then, I spotted Derek watching us, and he turned to leave. Derek, no, wait! As I ran after him, Victor grabbed my hand. Let him go. Come back to me. I miss you. But what about Elena? You're engaged. But I like you more. And with you by my side, we can definitely reach the Olympics. Maybe we're just meant to be friends, Victor. We both know we're not. We belong together. I'll wait for you till you come back to your senses, Quinn. I still love you. He was making me so confused. I was getting along really well with Derek, but now he wanted me back and it was messing with my head. But the worst part was that our kiss was all over the news, with speculation that we were getting back together. Derek had stopped showing up in the cafe, so I went to the grocery store one day to see.
Yeah, that was not Slay.
Was that our kiss was all over the news, with speculation that we were getting back together. Derek had stopped showing up in the cafe, so I went to the grocery store one day to see him. What's wrong? Are you avoiding me? No, I just don't think you need me anymore. You got what you wanted. If you're talking about Victor, then you're mistaken. We're not back together. I just can't decide yet. Take your time, but I'm not going to stick around for you to make up your mind. He's the right choice. Trust me. But I like you, Derek. I really do.
I'm sure.
If that was true, you wouldn't have asked me to try to be something that I'm not. We both know that I don't belong in your world, Quinn. He got back to work, and I left. I just wanted to cry. When I got home, a maid told me there was a visitor in my room. I walked in, and suddenly, someone slammed the door shut and pinned me against it. Elena, what are you doing? Stop messing with my Victor. It's been 3 years, and you need to move on. It's not what you think. What happened in the rink was nothing. Drop the act. I know you're trying to win him back, but he's mine now. Just deal with it. But the next few days, I didn't even think much of Victor. All I cared about was Derek avoiding me, and it was driving me crazy. I could hardly focus on my training, and the competition was in 2 days. I wanted to quit, but everyone was expecting my comeback. When the big day came, I felt like peeing from nervousness. I scanned the crowd, hoping to see Derek's face, but he hadn't come. Just as I was putting my shoes on in the locker room, Victor came in. I see Derek's not here. I'm happy you sent that loser packing. I knew you couldn't be serious about him. I'll dump Elena tonight, too. She's probably gonna cry a lot, which will be annoying, but Victor, I am serious about him. But even if I wasn't, there's no future for you and me. I don't know why it took me so long to see that you're kind of a jerk. Don't be stupid, Quinn. I am your future. You need me as a partner. No, Victor, I really don't. Being alone has taught me that I can be alone. Just as I pushed him out of my way, we both saw Elena by the door, and she'd clearly heard everything. She went bonkers and attacked Victor, and I ran off grinning. He deserved it. I started my routine feeling confident, and just then, I spotted Derek in the crowd. Suddenly, I felt electrified. I did a few of my best moves, and the judges gave me a standing ovation. I ended up in second place, though, but I wasn't disappointed. I was just starting all over again, and it was a really good start. I didn't expect to see you here. I think you should have come first. You're amazing. Just having you here makes me feel like I won. I missed you, Derek, and I love you, just the way you are. Do you really mean it this time? What do you think? I think you need to kiss me to prove it. I leaned in, and just as our lips were about to touch, I said teasingly, "You're gonna have to catch me first." Bring it on.
How he fall like that? Why he fall like that? He says so. So. That low-res cartoon. It's cartoon for experience being in the wealthiest school of Korea.
Relaxing in a beautiful hotel in Paris with the cutest French boy smiling at you from across the pool is just perfectly splendid in every way. My personal assistant / best friend Lexi rushed towards me while holding a letter. She read it out loud. "Fancy a date on my yacht tonight? Meet me at 7 on the harbor." The boy across the pool winked at me. That night, I learned that his name was Pierre, and he treated me like a princess. But our splendid date was interrupted by a panicked call from Lexi. "Your dad's secretary called, and he's just sent the jet for us to leave right now." Ugh, he must have been mad because I'd been absent from school for a week now. I so didn't need school. I said my goodbyes to Pierre, who said he wanted to see me again. But I just smiled and left. "Oh, hey there. My name is Blair, and I have an almost perfect life. I'm as smart as Einstein himself. There's only one little problem. I'm dyslexic, but it's no big deal because I have Lexi to read everything for me. I used to be number one in literally everything, but things took a wild turn when a foreign exchange student joined our class. Please hit that subscribe button before I tell you my whole story. The next day, my limo dropped Lexi and me off at our school, a very expensive private one, where only families with a net worth of at least $1 billion can attend. Blair, watch out! I screamed when I saw an angry dog charging towards me. What was it doing here? Pets aren't allowed. Francesca, my arch nemesis, picked it up while laughing at me. Good boy, she whispered, but I heard it. This insecure brat always found a way to ruin my day. Oh, hey, Blair. I'm giving out our newest luxury product, this $1 million perfume, for free. I thought you might need one. Thanks, Francesca, but I'd rather donate it to charity. The principal appeared and got angry when she saw her dog. Our dog mansion, with 10 floors, is currently being renovated, so my baby needs to roll with me. Ugh, what a show-off. The principal shut her mouth when Francesca gave her a stupid perfume, too. In the middle of class, I suddenly forgot how to breathe when the most gorgeous boy that I'd ever seen walked in. Everyone, I would like you all to meet Terrence, a foreign exchange student from Korea, and he will be with us for this school year. We were all speechless as we looked at him. Francesca immediately offered her seat, but Terrence just headed quietly to the back. Our math teacher then started the discussion and suddenly asked us to solve the area of a stadium on our tables. Such a no-brainer. The answer is, it's 69,963 square meters. We all turned to Terrence like we'd seen a ghost. He'd answered before me. Like, how? After class, all the girls flocked around him, including Lexi. I tried to smile at him too, but he didn't smile back. What a snob. I snatched Lexi away from him and told her to cut it out. Do that again and I'll fire you. Oh, come on, Blair. He's literally perfect. He's like Lee Min-ho. He's not my type. Terrence might have heard that because he turned to me, but so what? He snubbed me, and first impressions last. Every year, our principal holds an auction party, and this year, all the proceeds would be going to poor children in Africa. The last item to be auctioned was a beautiful pearl with a special history. It cost around $50 million. As expected, Francesca and I started the bidding battle. 100 million, 200 million, 500 million. 1 billion. Then the principal asked if anyone wanted to go any higher. Lexi leaned closer to me and tried to stop me, but I couldn't let Francesca win. 2 billion. 10 billion. Silence filled the room when a male voice joined in and said, $100 billion. Everyone turned to the back. It was Terrence again. He really was something else. The principal declared, wow, that's a new record. Sold. My eyebrows shot up when I saw Francesca offering him a handshake in a flirty way. Lexi said, I think you two look better together. Ew, stop that, Lexi. He's a snob and only loves his phone. During our finals week, as usual, I took a special oral exam because of my reading condition. When the results came back the next day, the blood drained from my face when I didn't see my name at the top spot. It was Terrence. He hadn't even been in our school a full year. Then Francesca appeared from nowhere and said, just accept the fact that you're a loser now, Blair. I asked Lexi to do some research on Terrence. I needed to know what was up with him. He seemed like the love child of Einstein and Bill Gates. One day, while I was rushing to the toilet, I bumped into him and tripped over. Jeez, his chest was as hard as a tree. I looked up at him and met his cold, brown eyes. I was expecting him to offer his hand, but the jerk skipped past me like I was trash on the floor. I'd never felt so humiliated. It was the first time a guy had ignored me. Lexi came to the rescue and helped me to my feet. He helped me when I tripped out of my helicopter yesterday. Sorry, girl, but you're not his type. Francesca's comment made me furious. Thank God Lexi calmed me down. Or else. During lunch, Lexi told me that she'd finally finished her research on Terrence. He was a young CEO in Korea, and his company develops games and software. That's why he's always on his phone. So, he's a self-made billionaire. Interesting. I was on my way to our campus's art center one time, and I stopped when I saw a board ahead. It had some words on it. Francesca and her friends were right behind me, but I didn't want to ask her for help, so I tried to read it myself. It seemed to be saying something about a vacation. I ignored the sign and continued walking. Suddenly, the ground under me collapsed. Someone caught me right on time before I was buried alive. I looked up to see my savior. It was Terrence. He let me go and dusted his uniform off. Don't you know how to read? It says, deep excavation ahead. I have dyslexia. Anyway, thanks for saving my life. Just be careful next time. My heartbeat was still going fast as I watched him walk away. A few days later, the principal announced the annual competition between private schools called the Battle of the Brains. I was so ecstatic when I was picked again to represent our school. I always aced it. The problem was the competition would be all about teamwork, so I needed a partner, and Terrence was picked. Lexi came up to me and said, "Oh my God, I ship you both. This is going to be fun." I ignored Lexi's stupid all about teamwork, so I needed a partner, and Terrence was picked. Lexi came up to me and said, "Oh my God, I ship you both. This is going to be fun." I ignored Lexi's stupid comment and told Terrence to meet me in the music room. We needed to talk about the competition. While I was waiting for him, I started playing the piano. I couldn't finish the song because I forgot the keys. Just in time, he arrived and continued for me. We were so close to each other, and it felt really weird. I was about to move, but the way he played was hypnotizing. I flinched when I felt a spark as our fingers touched. He looked down at me after he finished playing. "That's how you do it. I don't need piano lessons right now. We need to plan a strategy. Just focus on the spelling. Memorize the letters of the longest words, and we'll be fine. Don't underestimate me, Terrence. How about you? Are you going to study?" The dummy answered me with a poker face and left the room. Sometimes I really hated his guts and his gorgeous face. And seriously, he was so confusing. The competition day finally came, and we were totally silent during the ride. He later fell asleep on my shoulder, and I went stiff as a board. Should I move my shoulder, or should I let him sleep in peace? The limo passed over a rough road, which woke him up. He looked up at me, and I immediately looked away. "Can you, scoot over? You're in my personal space." My heartbeat went back to normal when he moved. I was so nervous during the game, but as expected, we made it to the final round. Terrence won the versus round against another boy, and then it was my turn. I needed to win this so we would be the winners already. I was shocked when the announcer said that it was a spelling round. Oh no. Spell, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Terrence gave me an encouraging look. I focused and wrote down all the letters according to my memory. I felt like passing out from nervousness when I slowly raised my answer. Correct. I jumped around in happiness and found myself hugging Terrence. When I realized what I was doing, I immediately pulled away. He then patted my head and smiled at me for the first time. And I must admit, he looked even more gorgeous. You did great. Well,
Load up. And also rewind a little bit. Superfluous. I don't know how to spell it. Let me try. I don't know how you don't know that's a word. That is a word. What? Oh, nonsensical word. Okay. Hold on. Give me that. Give me that. Wait. Give me that. Is it? Yes. What? Yes, I never knew that. I was told it wasn't. What do you mean? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a word. Great job. Now I feel stupid. Now I feel like a freaking retard. Good job.
Terrence gave me an encouraging look. I focused and wrote down all the letters according to my memory. I felt like passing out from nervousness when I slowly raised my answer. Correct. I jumped around in happiness and found myself hugging Terrence. When I realized what I was doing, I immediately pulled away. He then patted my head and smiled at me for the first time. And I must admit, he looked even more gorgeous. You did great. Well, thanks for your advice. Lexi showed up to congratulate us. Oh my gosh, you guys were so good. You two should get married already. Ugh, Lexi and her random fangirling. Terrence smiled at me in the hallway the next day, and it made me feel something in my stomach. What a miracle that he wasn't wearing his headphones and holding his phone in front of his face. Suddenly, the girls started screaming. I went to see what was happening and was shocked to see Pierre in our school uniform. He was showing everyone my pictures that he took on his phone. Oh, finally. There's my girl. Pierre immediately walked up to me and kissed me on the cheek. What are you doing here? I told you, I wanted to see you again. I enrolled in your school just to be with you. I didn't know what to say. Pierre kept following me around, and it bothered me. I wanted to turn him down, but I felt bad for breaking a nice guy's heart. Mademoiselle, come. I have a surprise for you. I told Pierre that I still had a class, but he grabbed my arm and was about to pull me outside when someone grabbed my other arm. It was Terrence. Come on, we're running late already. Everyone stopped in their tracks to watch. Terrence and Pierre were glaring at each other, and there I was, looking like a statue between them. Neither of them wanted to let me go, and it was so awkward. I caught Lexi's eye and gave her the signal to help me. She acted like she sprained her ankle and purposefully fell on Pierre. Lexi then winked at me as Pierre turned to help her. She was the best. I didn't know how to get rid of Pierre over the next few days. Terrence started avoiding me too. Once, when I went into class, Pierre winked at me and told me to come and sit next to him. I said, Pierre, I just want to be clear that you're not my boyfriend. Yet. That night, Francesca threw a party on her own private island and invited everyone. I didn't want to go, but Pierre was so persistent. During the party, he was telling me about his plan to buy a resort in Paris. He was talking non-stop while all I could think about was Terrence. I wished he was here. I signaled Lexi to start our plan. I excused myself to the restroom as she came over, and I let her entertain Pierre. I sneaked out and found myself in a beautiful garden. While I was smelling some flowers, I suddenly felt someone's presence beside me. I turned to see Terrence. You're here. I didn't think you'd come. Francesca came over to my place yesterday and invited me. What? I wanted to ask him what else she did at his place, but I chickened out. He was looking up at the sky, and suddenly, a snowflake dropped on his forehead, and he slowly closed his eyes. It was a beautiful moment, and I just found myself staring. It's the first snow of the year. Oh. Is it? He seemed to be so happy about it, and I wondered why. Where's your boyfriend? He's not my boyfriend. I just met him in Paris last time I was there. I'm relieved. What do you mean? The snow continued falling over us. He stepped closer and suddenly kissed me on the forehead. I like you, Blair. I wasn't expecting that. My heartbeat was so loud I was shaking. Moments later, I finally gave in to my attraction. I think I like you too. Let's get out of here. I told him that only my dad had access to our helicopter, but he just gave me a smug smile and said, That's not a problem. Did he plan ahead or what? The helicopter flew us to a beautiful place, and while we were enjoying the marvelous view beneath us, I felt his hand holding mine. It gave me an electric feeling. I'd never felt this way before. After our helicopter date, he brought me to this Korean restaurant and made me taste their delicious specialties. We fought over the bill, and he won and paid for it. I then gave the waiter a tip, a key to a car. That's very generous of you, but I prefer giving tips like this. He gave the waiter a business card and told him that his secretary would assist him in enrolling in the school of his choice. Education is more important, Blair. Oh, he was wiser than I thought. It was almost midnight when we strolled in the park. When I complained about my high heels hurting my feet, he gave me a piggyback ride. This man had never failed to surprise me. We were inseparable over the next few weeks, while Lexi always ended up distracting Pierre. One day, Terrence was teaching me Korean when Lexi kept calling me. I was enjoying our session, so I ignored her calls. Later that day, I was on my way to my locker when I saw Francesca's dog again. It started chasing me, and I ran into the nearest room. While I was catching my breath, I was surprised to see Pierre in there too. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Miss me? Before I could react, he suddenly kissed me. I was so shocked that I couldn't move. I slapped him and walked out to look for Lexi, but I couldn't find her anywhere. She wasn't answering my calls either. Where was she when I needed her? The next day, everyone was looking at me like I'd done something terrible, which I apparently did because an anonymous account had posted a picture of me kissing Pierre on Instagram. No, it was all a mistake. I asked Lexi about it, but she was so mad at me. What did I do? That pervert made a move on me. You weren't there when I needed you because you only care about Terrence now. Lexi, I'm so sorry. Please don't do this to me. You're my best friend. No, Blair. I'm just your personal assistant. Oh. Not anymore, because I'm resigning. I was crying as she left me. I looked for Terrence and found him in the music room. Terrence, it's not what you think. Let me explain. I don't deal with cheaters. I tried to convince him, but my heart broke when he said, Get lost, Blair. I don't want to see you again. I was totally miserable after that. My best friend and boyfriend were ignoring me, and everyone was calling me a cheater. One day, I passed out in my room because I hadn't eaten all day. When I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was Lexi. Thank God you finally woke up. You had me so worried. Are you okay? How could I be okay when you hate me now? Oh my God, stop. I'm not used to seeing you cry. Lexi then told me that she overheard Francesca and Pierre talking about their plan to set me up. I knew it. I need to talk to Terrence. She then looked away and said, he went back to Korea this morning. What? Are you freaking serious? I felt like someone had thrown cold water on me. She just bowed her head and avoided my eyes. Why so soon? Is this a prank? I'm so sorry, Blair. I already told him the truth, and he believed me, but he still left. No, this can't be happening. I tried to get up, but Lexi told me that my doctor had advised that I shouldn't leave bed yet. I called Terrence, but his phone wasn't on. I checked his social media accounts and confirmed that he was already back in Korea. I just wanted to sleep and hope that it was all a dream. The next day, I woke up to Lexi's scream. She pulled me out of bed and dragged me outside. There was an unfamiliar jet landing outside. A handsome boy then stepped out, and I swear, my heart jumped with joy when I realized who it was. I ran up to him and hugged him. He apologized for doubting me and for not telling me about him leaving. I just needed to finish my surprise for you. He then showed me an app on his phone. You can download this from the App Store. I've specially developed this for dyslexics. Oh my God, this is amazing. I love you, Terrence. I love you more, my Blair. I was so over the moon when he finally kissed me. Another cute Korean guy came out, and Lexi looked like she just peed her pants. Terrence introduced him as Andrew, his brother, and Lexi started jumping in excitement. Thank God you have a brother. Terrence and I just laughed as we held each other's hands.
Yeah. Wait.
Sally walked through the door in the back.
Yay. So, moral of the story is, I am dumb as ha. What's that? Anyways. Like the video if you like my video, and subscribe to my channel if you like my channel. And with that, peace.